Okay. I'm going to call to order the Finance Committee meeting at 6:06 p.m. I'm the chairperson, Liz Muirhead. I recognize Vice Chairperson Shauna Maxwell and Board Member Bob Knecht. Board Member Robin Seagreaves is excused. And with that, we have a quorum, so we will continue. First order of business is the approval of the minutes from the January 13th Finance Committee meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, or amplifications to the minutes? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please say yes.
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 Okay, the minutes are so approved and will be placed on file. To begin our meeting, we do have a presentation, an audit review from Christopher N. Herr from Malley LLP, our auditor. So, Mr. Herr, I will call you to the podium. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Again, my name is Chris Herr. I'm a partner with Malley. We were the independent auditors for the June 30, 25 financials, which were just delivered about a week ago, so timely to be here tonight. I have a 4-page summary that will kind of cover all the I think important points from the audit. Starting right at the top with the summary of findings and results on the audit, the financial statement audit. Auditor's report expresses an unmodified opinion. It's also known as a clean opinion. It's the most positive opinion you can have on your financials. What that means is, in our opinion, the statements are free of any material misstatement. They comply with all GAAP, that's generally accepted accounting principles that all entities have to follow. Also comply with all the GASB pronouncements. That's the Governmental Accounting Standards Board that creates all the rules specific to governments and school districts. And no scope limitations on our audit. We come in with a very lengthy list of documents, from bank statements to W-2s to invoices and everything you can think about that impacts the numbers. We did receive everything that we needed in order to carry out the audit. No instances of non-compliance noted during the audit, and no findings during the audit. And anytime I'm looking at findings or issues during the audit that we should report, there's always two things I'm looking at first. One is internal controls. We do look at the procedures and policies over cash disbursements, receipts, payroll, bank recs. No issues noted anywhere there. Another thing I always look at is adjusting entries. How many adjustments do we have to make as part of the audit to the numbers? I think we had 6 entries, 3 of which were related to pension and OPEB, which we make on every school district we do. We do over 2 dozen. We always have those. The other 3 were very minor entries. So really good news there, really low amount of adjustments, which tells me you guys are getting good financial data on an ongoing basis. The uniform guidance audit, also known as the single audit, the audit of federal awards. So this is an audit specifically on federal monies that the school district receives. Again, an unmodified, clean opinion on that part of the audit. No significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. This year we looked at the child nutrition cluster, which is essentially the federal subsidies for free and reduced meals provided to kids in the district. You continue to be a low-risk auditee, which means you continue to get your audits completed on time and without findings, and no findings or question costs there. Just a couple of the key estimates that are in the financial statement, some of the bigger estimate numbers. First one, capital assets. At year end, you had about $334 million of total cost. Depreciation for the year was about $12 million. Accumulated depreciation is about $160 million. The metric I always do is accumulated depreciation divided by cost. That shows you about 47% through the life of your assets, which is pretty low for a school district. Usually I see upwards of 50, 60%. A lot of that's going to be driven by the fact that you have a lot of infrastructure investment happening right now. Mm-hmm. During the year, additions were just shy of $40 million. Big things there, $9 million of cost for Doe Run, $11 million in HVAC improvements, $7 million for North Brandywine, $3.5 million for Reeseville, and $3.7 for Scott Middle School. So a lot of projects going on. Net pension liability, this is your share of the PSERS pie, the state pension plan. Actually decreased a little bit, went from about 118 million of liability down to 113 million of liability. That is just a function of the PSERS total plan liability going down from about 44.5 billion liability down to 41.8 billion of liability. So their plan went down, your share of it went down. And then the net OPEB liability, which is not quite funded the same as the net pension liability, was pretty flat, right around 8.5, 8.6 million a year. Just some of the key numerical results from the audit. The first table here is your revenues, June 30, 25 year end compared to the June 30, 24 year end. Local sources is primarily real estate taxes, EIT taxes, transfer and delinquent taxes. Was down about $1 million. Went from 156 million down to about 155 million. Most of your taxes were very stable, but your interim real estate taxes, which is always a little bit of a, can ebb and flow based on different projects happening, was down about $1 million. State sources was up 65 million, up to 72 million. Your basic ed subsidy is the biggest chunk of this, makes up about half of your state subsidies. That was up $1 million. Special ed subsidies from the state, that's about 8.5 million. That was up $1 million. And ready to learn grants. You had about 5 million in ready to learn grants. That was up about $3 million from last year. And then the last couple columns there, the smallest ones, that's federal money coming into the district. That's down a bit, 10 million down to about 8 million. It's because of that ARPA money, that COVID relief money starting to fall off. The bottom table is your expenses year on year. Instruction up about $20 million. Went from 151 million up to 171 million. Few things I saw in there: software costs up a couple million, about $2 million. Professional services for learning support was up about 2 million. IU services was up about 3 million. Charter schools, non-public tuition up about $5.5 million. And on top of those things, you just have your typical salary increases, insurance increases, things of that nature, driving that number up. Support services, the second set of columns there, went from 44 million up to 48 million. Building services was up about 1.5 million. That's your repairs, utilities, insurance on all your buildings. Transportation was also up about $1 million. So those were the two big drivers of that increase. And then the other column is $40 million up to $72 million. It's all that capital projects I was talking about a minute ago, driving that. Debt, total bonds and notes payable was 247 million at the end of June 30, 24. It's up to 326 million at the end of 25. It's because you guys issued a $91 million bond during the year for some of these capital projects you have going on. And then the table at the bottom there is fund balance. What fund balance is in any of your funds. If you take your assets, pay off all your liabilities, this is what's left. The orange one that's shooting up, that's your capital projects. Went from 12 million 2 years ago up to 85 million last year, up to 133 million this year. That's that new bond money that you took out, less all the expenses you had for the projects this year. The blue line is your general fund. That was $23 million 2 years ago. It went up to 33 million last year. For June 30, 24, and then for this June 30, 25 year end, it came back down to 23 million. That's simply going to be a function of the expenses climbing faster than the revenues are climbing. And then at the very bottom, there's a gray line there. You almost can't see it at the bottom of the graph there, but that's your food service. Went from about 400,000 to about 1.4 million, and then this year 2.4 million. So that's starting to climb up. That's really all I have as far as the numbers go. Again, I mean, the summary for us, clean audit. Really appreciate Lori and her team helping us and our team kind of come in and get through everything. It was, from our, perspective, a good, clean audit. Happy to field any questions if there are any.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I did want to just, make a point for folks who are watching that This firm has been auditing us for many years. They're a very reputable firm. They audit many other school districts across the state, including districts like, Central Bucks, Springford, Upper Marion. So a wide array of experience and very strong credentials. So, just a bit of context. A clean opinion is great, but a clean opinion from a well-respected, experienced firm is even better. So we appreciate that. I wanted to call out a couple of things that we had observed from the audit report and some of your summary and analysis. One thing that I noted was you pointed out at one point in terms of the local revenues that local revenues were up about 1.5%. So I was flipping through, so I'm not sure. Yeah, here we go, page 14. The district experienced a 1.57% increase in real estate tax revenues compared to the prior year. I'll note this is despite us having a 3.5% tax increase. And so it helps illustrate that there is a challenge that we're facing in terms of assessment appeals, the erosion of the tax base in the district that causes us to sometimes see less revenue than we had anticipated from local sources. So that is an ongoing concern. Also on page 17, you made some very helpful comments about the future, and certainly we've talked about charter school expenditures multiple times for our district. You noted that even though charter school enrollment is projected to decline relative to the prior year, and this is what we've seen in some of the reports, we see about 90 fewer students in charter schools. The charter school tuition is actually still expected to increase over the prior year to $75 million. And charter school tuition costs have in the periods here accounted for about 31% of district's expenditures. So this is just an area that we don't have a lot of control over in our budget. The tuition is what it is and we have to pay it. And so it's a area that we are focused on but cannot directly address ourselves. I don't know if there's anything that you would add to either of those comments.
No, just a general note, that section of the financial that you're discussing, page 6 to 17, is called the management discussion and analysis. Mm-hmm. We don't write that at all. It's an unaudited document that's actually provided by your finance department here. So I just wanted to point that out, that Wonderful. We don't come up with that language. That's right from the school district.
Thank you. So, I appreciate the analysis, the commendation of the work that the team did. And, Lori, I want to thank you and your team for the fine work that you did and support of the budget process and the audit process in order to get us a clean review.
I would just like to thank my team as well, especially our assistant business manager, Pam Kiley. She takes these audits and she runs with them. So without her support, none of this would be possible. So I really want to thank her for her the services that she provides to the district as well.
So one of the things that I do also want to point out is that when we look at the report on the fund balance, we used just over $9 million of the fund balance in the audited year. We had originally planned to use about half of that to help offset the planned tax increase, but there were additional expenses from beyond what was budgeted for special education, transportation, and charter schools. And that helps, underscore that although we can plan to use some of the fund balance to defray the size of a tax increase that we do, we have to be very careful about that because that is our safety net for overages in areas that we are contractually and legally obligated to pay. Okay. With that, let me turn to the committee. Do any members of the committee have questions for the representative from the auditor? Anyone from the full board? Christopher, thank you for your presentation. We will be going through the approval of the audit in our agenda.
Wonderful, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. Okay. Moving on to the agenda items. First item are the financial statements. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the financial statements, bills, payables list as presented. They are listed here in the report. Any member of the committee have questions or comments on these items? Any member of the full board? Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes. Okay, it is so moved. Second is the approval of the independent audit, letter B. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors accept the audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025 as presented. The full report, if you didn't take the paper copy of it, is in the attachments for executive content. Any questions or comments from committee members? Any questions or comments from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, okay, it is so moved. That will go to the meeting at the end of the month, just to be clear. Next is hometown ticketing, digital ticket and event management. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the digital ticketing and event management renewal agreement with hometown ticketing to allow use at all ticketed events and registrations. The renewal of this agreement is signing off on terms and conditions of the terms of service and conditions. There are not any fee adjustments or changes to the renewal agreement. This is used for numerous events in the district, like theater performances, etc. Any questions or comments from committee members? Any questions or comments from others on the board?
Just a quick comment that I would like to make is that I would like to push for this agenda item because it makes the whole process of retrieving money, especially for our school events, so much easier. It saves us a lot of time, it saves a lot of effort, it saves a lot of energy. So since it's all digital, it's all accounted for, we don't have to count the money over and over and over again because that can take like a whole chunk out of the person's day. It takes like multiple hours because it has to be counted once, then it has to be verified with another person, and then verified a third time before it can be deposited. So the whole point of hometown ticketing is that it just makes the process so much smoother for our school, allowing us to save our resources because there's not a lot of people who can do that role and fit that part.
Excellent point, Davis. Thank you. And I'll note as well that hometown ticketing generates a QR code that makes it very easy to advertise ticketed events in the community, easy for community members to get tickets. I will point out, though, because there has been some concern from community members who don't like paying the fee associated with reserving these tickets, that we now, by state law, are required to accept cash as long as it's an even amount. So for those who were concerned about the simplicity of this system because of the cost, you now have another option. We will still accept cash, although, as Davis said, we encourage you to use the hometown ticketing system because it makes it much easier and reduces the risk of anything happening to any cash receipts. Any other questions or comments on this item?
We weren't accepting cash.
We were not previously.
Before
but there is
December.
but there is a new law that
Yes,
we are now
I'm glad that you
required
said
to
that because I was
accept.
going to say something, but we
We're-
were not.
We are now required to
yes.
accept cash and will do so. Okay. All right, any other comments? Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, okay, it is so moved. I'm going to bundle D and E. These are both things that we've talked about before. The first is Valbridge Property Advisors Appraisal Services. This is to do a real estate tax appraisal for a property that is under review. It's an estimated cost of $17,500. And then the Maley Audit Services Agreement Extension is a 3-year agreement. The costs are shown as proposed, $43,750, $45,500, and $47,250 for the next 3 years. Any questions or comments from committee members on these two items? Any questions or comments from the full board? Okay. All in favor of sending these to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay, it is so moved. We're going to bundle F through J. These are all donations. Donors choose for East Fallowfield STEM, donors choose for East Fallowfield Snowflake Project, donors choose for East Fallowfield School Supply, and then the Northeast Beef Promotion Initiative, PA Beef Council Grant for the intermediate high school, and a very significant donation from Spherix Global Insights, providing 200 backpacks loaded with school supplies. It's for the upcoming school year, but these backpacks are already done and donated, and they're super cool. There's been information shared about them on Facebook if you want to check it out. Any questions or comments from committee members on these donations? Any questions or comments from the full board?
Can I just make a comment about that Spherix Global donation? I had the opportunity with Dr. Doherty to actually go out and watch them package all of the items for our students. And as Ms. Muir said, the backpacks are pretty amazing. They have everything from pens, pencils, markers, glue, folders, binders, to tissues, stuffed animals, headsets, gloves, hats, water bottles. I mean, you name it, it's in that backpack. And so we are very excited at the upcoming kindergarten carnival for our incoming registered kindergartners that they will be handed out. So if you haven't had an opportunity to register your student for kindergarten, we encourage you because you will be provided with a backpack that night. And if there are backpacks left over after that event, we will continue to distribute them to our students. So great event, great opportunity for our community. I'm very excited that I got an opportunity to see it live.
Awesome. All right, so big takeaway is pre-register your child for kindergarten. All right. Any other comments? All right. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it is so moved. Letter K, Dindus Inc., rental of sound system equipment for drama production at the intermediate high school. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the quote for the rental of the sound system for the February drama production in the amount of $4,097 as presented. I'll just note that this is a planned expense that is part of the budgeted cost for the drama production. Any questions or comments from committee members? Any questions or comments from the full board? Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it is so moved. Letter L, Kings Highway Falls Shutterfly Commission. This is just accepting the commission from Shutterfly for that school, $851.89. Any questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the board? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay, it is so moved. All right, we have two positions. I'm going to bundle M and N. We're proposing the addition of one elementary librarian position and one elementary assistant principal. I'll note that the elementary librarian position is the last elementary librarian that we will need so that every elementary school next year will have a full-time librarian. These librarians are spending their time revising the curriculum and leading classes. So we have three now. The fourth one will either be in Kings Highway or Reesville, depending on how we allocate staff. The elementary assistant principal, I believe that position is allocated to the new building. Okay. Any questions or comments from committee members? Any questions or comments from the full board? Okay. All in favor of moving these to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it is so moved. And we do have a human resources report on the agenda that is attached. So I will note that is there. Are there any questions or comments from the committee members? Any questions or comments from the full board? We can certainly acknowledge the retirements at the full board meeting. Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Okay, it is so moved. We have our informational items as standard, the account code legal fees and medical claims. We do not have any old business. Is there any new business? Okay. Is there any public comment for Finance Committee? Thank you. Ms. Lori Shannon Bailey, speaking on 3A in the HR report.
its own records?
Yes. I will just, this is not new, and the district is not doing its own audit. It is a statement that accompanies the financials.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying. The information that was actually presented, is that information going to be posted on the website so that taxpayers and stakeholders can see it? Because the information shared certainly seemed like it would be of use and of interest to the public. It included a lot of really good information, but I feel like in the spirit of transparency, it would be helpful if that information could be posted on the website so that we can take a deeper dive at it.
Thank you for that.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't have an answer for you at this time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate the comment. And then for you, Dr. Liz, you mentioned the erosion of tax base in the district. I'd like to hear more about that at some point, because we do have a lot of homes. There's a lot of construction going around. The deeds tax was changed for the city of Coatesville, which is also going to generate new taxes, new additional dollars for the district. So I'm really interested in hearing more about that. And you all know how I feel about charter schools. Dr. Liz, I would argue that there is much more that I think the board could be doing. I remember Dr. Dunlap made a lot of trips to Harrisburg talking to our policymakers. That's an idea that I've presented to you all before. $75 million is certainly a lot of money that's leaving our school district, so I would encourage you all to think carefully about what you can do to return students and to save money for the school district. You and I talked about reaching out to the education chair for on the Republican side. You all have done surveys. You all have asked the community to send letters and email messages. I think that there is a lot that can be done, and I would encourage you to think more about collaborating with the community on how we can work together to that end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Shannon Bailey. And we will get back to you on those questions that you asked. Thank you. Okay, that is all of the public comment. So with that, our next meeting will be Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, and I will adjourn the Finance Committee meeting at 6:34 p.m.
All right, I'll call to order the Education Committee meeting for February 10th. In the absence of Director Seagreaves and in the absence of Director Rowland, you get the third bench. Myself. Joining me is Director Yako, Director Brindle, and Director Bobneck. We have four? Do you want to join? Just three? Okay, so it'll stand. Okay. No, you're good. We also welcome Ms. Hannah. Thank you for joining us. Approval of minutes for the date is January 13th. Are there any questions, comments for the meeting minutes? Okay. For all in favor to approve the meeting minutes, please say yes.
Yes.
All right, moving on from there, we have one presentation for Education Committee tonight, the Lincoln Center presentation, if you all want to step up.
introduce April Thomas and Mr. Steve Brazel, who are here to conduct a presentation on the Lincoln Center. There are two different things that they're going to present on, two different programs. The first is really a renewal of an existing program, which is the Leadership Academy and our Student Climate program. And the second one is a new proposal, and that is only an informational item for tonight's agenda. And that is a new program that we are working with them to propose for a transition program for students who have been suspended out of school, and we want them to continue with their learning. That, again, is just an informational item, and the Leadership Academy is a renewal. So without further interruption, I'd like to introduce and turn over the program to Ms. Thompson and Mr. Brazel, who will speak to you about the Lincoln Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Again, as Ms. Snyder said, I am April Thomas, and joining me this evening representing the Lincoln Center, Steve Brazel. Just a little bit about what we plan to review with you this evening, a little background about the Lincoln Center, speaking a little bit about our transition classroom proposal for this evening for students who have been suspended out of school for short periods of time, but also speaking about our alternative school program that we currently have serving Coatesville area school district students, as well as the climate coaches who are supporting students within district schools. Won't read through the whole slide here, but our mission, vision, and values are here. Essentially, those four values: authentic engagement, meaning-making, personalized support, and stimulating curiosity, are the tenets of TLC Leadership Academy's transformational education model, which I will speak a little bit more about in the presentation. Little history about TLC. We've been around doing this work since 1970 and started out of Eagleville Hospital and have experienced growth and added lines of business or different divisions over the time. From 2017 until now, we've experienced a bit of rapid growth, and a large part of that is our commitment to alternative education, our system of intentionally small alternative schools serving districts all across Pennsylvania, and ensuring that we are partnering with districts for students to earn their high school diplomas. This slide represents the TLC divisions, of which the TLC Leadership Academies is one. We also have an Education Institute that focuses on professional development, and school services, where we are placing staff into school districts to support, such as the climate coaches that work in the Coatesville area school district. We have a TLC wellness unit, which provides fee-for-service counseling, as well as grant services, and a community services division that works with different agencies supporting community members that experience things such as violence in the community. The traditional classroom proposal that we are sharing with you today is about, again, students who are suspended out of school, but we want to keep engaged in their learning in the district. What we are proposing is providing a structured short-term setting for students within the district. They would receive academic instruction aligned to their Coatesville area school district curriculum, but also restorative coaching, helping students to reintegrate back into the district with a set of skills so that they don't repeat those same behaviors. We would provide counseling and mental health services as well. And the purpose of the program is to support students to return to the district better equipped to navigate their academics without behavioral interruptions. Just a little bit about the support staff for both of the proposed programs today. I serve as Chief Schools Officer for the Lincoln Center, and my partner, Rob Delonzo, serves as the Chief Clinical Officer. Together, we support all of the directors, and you're going to meet one, to ensure strong programming for our students. The transition classroom staffing would include a program director, 2 teachers, a mental health counselor. All staff would undergo the necessary background checks and hold the necessary Pennsylvania certifications. We would provide provider district walkthroughs that would be conducted regularly in partnership with the district, and staff development to support the goals of the program. I do want to note that TLC Leadership Academies has a licensed private academic school license through the Department of Education, and we are accredited through the Middle States Association. Ultimately, we want students to stay on track academically, despite when they have made poor choices that, require them to be suspended. We want them to return ready, resilient, and accountable for their actions. And we want them to have a stronger sense of SEL, social emotional learning, and mental health, so that they can remove any barriers to success when they do reintegrate back into the school district. Next, we will switch to the proposal for the TLC Leadership Academy, the continuation of the TLC Leadership Academy and climate support proposal. The therapeutic alternative education and AEDY programs that we currently serve Coatesville area school districts, seniors, middle and high school students with. We also provide school-wide climate and behavior support within your district schools. And we deliver trauma-informed, student-centered academic, mental health, and behavioral supports, and a curriculum aligned to the Common Core, as well as TLC's transformational education model that I mentioned previously. Just a little bit about that transformational educational model. It is based on transformational leadership. And essentially what our model, the way we do school is, we position our teachers, our climate folks as the leaders, because they have the biggest opportunity for influence with students. And when we take those 4 values that I spoke about earlier, meaning making, stimulated curiosity, authentic engagement, and personalized support, and deposit that daily, consistently into our students, it increases their connectedness, their feeling of self-efficacy and belonging, and their social emotional well-being. And ultimately, when that happens, it improves student outcomes. They are more engaged in their academics, they exhibit better pro-social behaviors, and their academic performance increases. When you package all of that in an aesthetic, pleasing physical environment and have a culture of kindness, students succeed. Many students who thought there was not hope for future, graduation may not be in their futures, are now empowered to know that their futures are bright. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Brazel. He's going to talk a little bit about the day-to-day in a TLC Leadership Academy.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Brazel, and I've been able to serve as the site director for Coatesville Choices Academy since the beginning of the 24-25 school year. It's been an honor working directly with the district administration to collaborate and make sure that we're delivering education and curriculum that aligns with the districts. With over 10 years of experience in alternative education, behavioral health, and trauma-informed programming, I've been able to develop a skill set that helps me to oversee daily operations, staffing, safety, attendance monitoring, and district compliance. As a 2005 graduate and a current community member, it's been a pleasure serving as the primary liaison to the families and district partners, while my team and I have worked hard implementing restorative and trauma-informed behavior systems that have contributed to significant reduction in suspensions and serious incidents. And just a little about me, a little more background about me for those that don't know. I was a climate coach in Coatesville High School from December 21 on to when I became the site director here. Prior to that, I've served as a treatment supervisor, a dean of students, and a behaviorist in different roles. Just a quick overview of the model that we have in our program in the academy. We have a site director, we have subject area teachers, we have a mental health counselor, school climate coaches, and a special education teacher who serves as our case manager. And again, the climate support team, as Ms. Thomas already touched on, there will be 2 of climate coaches in the intermediate and 2 climate coaches in cash. And then along the side there, that's just reiterating that all of our staff go through the same licensing and trainings each year. A bit about our academic programming. Similar to what Coatesville does with IXL, we administer a test called the STARS assessment, and with that assessment, we're able to gauge students' academic levels in reading and in math. We use that to develop a curriculum that provides differentiated instruction to our students and meets them on their levels to help them matriculate towards graduation. Project-based learning is one thing that we've kind of held on to tight. In the bottom right corner, that picture right there is an incubator full of eggs, and it was a science project that our students engaged in where they learned the life cycle of chickens, and they nurtured them to hatch and had the opportunity to either take them home with permission from their parents. The rest were donated to a local farm. And then speaking to the transformational education portion that Ms. Thomas said, a student in the bottom left-hand corner was a student who was permanently expelled from the district who came to TLC and was able to invest in themselves and have staff invest in them and help them to graduate at the end of the 25 school year. Top right, we have community member Josh Kranz from the Bridge Academy and 2 of my 2 climate staff, Isaiah Hall and Ricky Santiago, both of whom were in the Bridge Academy when they were students and now are helping us with managing day-to-day at the Lincoln Center. And then in the top left is what we call our family trip, where we take every year right before holiday time to Shady Maple and fellowship together. Speaking just quickly to counseling and coaching, our staff, our climate staff, as well as our school counselor, work together to provide second step curriculum to our students. And our school counselor also works directly with the district and with our families, especially our seniors, to get the Act 158 requirements in order. Another community partner that we have, which has been very helpful to us with our service learning and Act 158 hours, is Ann's Heart of Phoenixville. They have provided meals to our families that we've been able to donate to them around holiday times. Our students have gone there to do service learning projects, feeding the elderly in the community, cleaning up the community, and doing other community service projects up there. Also pictured up here is a trip to the camp at Old Mill, which we do around 2 times a school year, where our kids get to go up during the school day to get the zip line, kayak, go fishing, play basketball, all the things that you can do while you're up there. Speaking now to our PBIS system, I believe everybody's familiar with one of those, but our students are able to earn up to 150 points per day, which they can bank, and we're teaching them management of their money, their PBIS money, so that they can purchase from our PBIS store on a bi-weekly basis. Bullying obviously is not tolerated anywhere, so we work our best, we work our hardest every single day, especially through restorative practices, to make sure the students feel safe in our environment so that they can learn. And then family engagement is extremely important to us. I ensure that my staff reach out to our families and are communicating with them via email at least bi-weekly to update them on attendance, behavior, and their academics. And then all of this is in hopes of transitioning from our program either back to their sending school within the district or to graduation. This slide speaks to the climate support services. This is our climate coaches. These are our climate coaches that are on Coatesville High School's campus. I won't read through all of it. I'll just touch on a few key points. They're able to help through school-wide behavior support, partnering with staff, coaching students one-on-one or in small groups, and reinforcing positive behavior in classroom routines, through crisis response and prevention, supporting crisis teams, de-escalating in the moment, identifying needs early, following up with families and resources, through restorative practices by supporting restorative staff and facilitating circles, and then through mentorship, Pearls for the Girls, and then Young Men's Professional Mentorship, where confidence, social awareness, and etiquette are encouraged. TLC, daily, we do our best to tailor to the unique needs of the district, making sure that we are in constant communication with them about their students, about their needs, about the district's needs, about all stakeholder needs, and making sure that we're providing flexible client solutions that for everything that's going to evolve over time. I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Thomas.
Just wanted to share a quick student case study. A student enrolled at the Lincoln Center from the Coatesville Area School District in 2022. She was new to Coatesville, moving from out of state to live with a family member, and was having a very difficult time connecting in the community, and found herself, because of a serious infraction on her home campus, at our school. And because she did not feel connected, she didn't have relationships, she was very resistant to what we had to offer. And she was, for lack of better terms, a hard nut for us to crack. But we worked very closely with district administration to do exactly what we said about one of our values, personalized support. And what we did was customize and individualize improvement plan for that student, created a pathway to graduation, and provided intensive mental health counseling for that student. Had her implement a positive behavior intervention and support, or PBIS system, that was individual to her. And what we found was a leader emerged. A student who was so resistant became one of our leaders on campus, and immediately behavior incidents decreased, and she started to connect with our staff. Significant improvement in her academic performance and behavior. She achieved her pathway to graduation and was accepted into a 4-year historically Black college or university, and that year was awarded our Servant Leadership Award that we award annually from TLC to 1 or 2 students, and it comes with a scholarship as well, a small scholarship that she could access while in college. That student gave a review shortly after graduation. TLC impacted my life in many ways. Academically, because of all the teachers, staff, and administration helped me graduate and continue to achieve my goals while staying focused to strive to get to where I wanted to go, to get into a 4-year HBCU college. I'm so thankful for everyone at TLC for all they have done for me. I would say it wasn't just about TLC, it was about the strong partnership that we shared with the district, and the district listening to us and helping us customize something that could get this student to the finish line. We were very proud of that. Again, TLC has a strong track record for success in alternative education, expertise in education and behavioral health, and we provide tailored evidence-based services to all of our partners. Additionally, some of the additional benefits for working with TLC, we provide free grant writing services for our partners and professional development opportunities. I won't read through these, but just a few testimonials from some of our clients, student, district partner, and community partner. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Steve and April, for a thorough presentation, as well as just the testimony at the end. Always appreciate hearing those success stories. That's why we're all here tonight. Do we have time for questions, as normal? I'm seeing you both sit down, but typically this board has questions. We're here for it. All right. I'm not going to let you off the hook that easy.
I didn't think you would.
Nope. Just any committee members have questions this evening?
Can you just walk me through a typical day of a student placed there?
Absolutely.
From Coatesville.
So our bus arrives every morning between 7:40 and 7:45. Can everybody hear me? I'm sorry. Our bus arrives every morning between 7:40 and 7:45. At that point, our students are let off the bus. They go through our intake procedure. They turn in all of their electronics before they enter into our program. And then they walk through a metal detector before they go in to sit into our common area where we serve breakfast, which all of our meals are supplied by Coatesville School District. So they go down, they sit there, and we talk and we get a feel for the day until about 8 o'clock. At that point, I deliver a morning message to the students and send them off to first period. They go through 5 periods, 40-minute periods before lunch. They have a community lunch of all of our students together in the same spot where we had our breakfast. After that, they have most of our academics, our high academic periods are in the front of the day. The second half of the day is more for our specials, and once they do that, our dismissal is around 2 o'clock every single day. So if you want, I don't know if you wanted specifics as to,
No, so there, and then they would get back into the Coatesville area around,
so our bus gets there around 1:45. At that point, we start winding our day down. I believe the bus gets back in the area between like 2:20 and 2:30.
and what do they do then? I mean, are they available to participate in things at the campus or their schools?
Absolutely. So as long as students aren't expelled from Coatesville and are allowed on the high school campus, they can do that. I actually have a student right now, a female student who was playing basketball for the basketball team. I've had football players going to football practice. So as long as the district, it's communicated with transportation and with the district and is approved by the district, transportation will drop them off at the high school. If not, they get dropped off at their typical bus stop.
And these kids are anywhere from sixth graders to seniors?
Seventh grade to 12th.
Any type of work, employment, assistance, development?
So our school counselor does a great job with that. We take frequent trips to the local community colleges. We've been to Delaware County Community College, Montgomery County, Chester County. We've taken our students to UTI, Thaddeus Stevens, just preparing them for having career readiness stuff for when they leave from us. We also help them with job searches, are in the vocational class as well. They work on developing a resume for themselves and just getting prepared for everything.
And are you two going to come to the full board meeting?
Invite me.
Well, I have to apologize because I didn't really, I want to look at this a lot closer than what I got it like, and that's partly my fault, but I only got it yesterday, I think, or started to look at it yesterday. So I'm going to have more questions if you're open to that, and
Sure.
I could maybe even contact you. It doesn't have to be at this meeting, but I'll definitely have some other questions. Can you talk a little bit about, so Steve, you know the background, you probably know some of the background of places we've sent kids over the years, and not all of them have been good places in some ways.
Right.
And so, I'm particularly interested in making sure whenever we send kids anywhere, especially like, behavior type kids, that it's a good place to be, that we're not just out of sight, out of mind, push them through kind of stuff. So, I'll have some questions for you, but can you talk a little bit about, a lot of places talk about, and I'm not exactly sure how you have it worded, but mental health. What does that look like? And and my second question would be, a lot of places do, the basic kind of screening and that kind of stuff, but if there's someone that is really identified as needing either like a psychiatrist or actual specific type of therapy, is there any, and I realize that you can't do that there, right? And I don't think any places really do that, but is there assistance for that level of involvement? Does that make sense?
Yes. So I'll answer the second question first, and I'm going to go back to the first one because I feel like I'm going to forget that one by the time I answer the second one.
Yeah.
So with the second one, TLC has a lot of resources, especially with our wellness and everything. So we're able to, identify the needs of the student, but we also partner directly with the school district. So after collecting data in our school from any number of behaviors or anything that we're noticing, we are able to partner with them to make sure that we get a psychiatrist or anybody down there to get the assessments completed for the students.
Okay.
So just to go back to the first part, because I think I kind of remember that one. That was, so going back to one of the things, one of our values is authentic engagement. So I can't say that our program is perfect, right? That would be crazy. No program is perfect. Everybody has flaws. But what I can say about our program, especially with the work that I do specifically and the work of our climate staff, we're from the same location that these kids are from. I was born and raised in the same streets as them. So me being able to sit and have a conversation, an authentic conversation with a student goes a lot further. They come into our school and they see staff that look like them, that resemble them, that are from the same situations and backgrounds as them. And we do our best every single day to make sure that we kind of meet them on their level, but still push them at the same time.
Yeah, and I think that's, and I would say that to my fellow board members and the administrators here. I think for a lot of years, people got placed in, all around the county in some of these placements, and there was no, when I say out of sight, out of mind, there was no connection back to Coatesville. And frankly, I think there were people that didn't want them back in Coatesville. They wanted them to age out and graduate or just drop out, and they were too much of a hassle, sadly to say. And it's good to see that there's, a direct connection back with our district and our people. And I even think, honestly, you being involved adds a lot of, and someone like you with your background and being a Coatesville guy, and I think that adds a lot of legitimacy to this in a lot of ways. So
Thank you.
I thank you for that. So, and I'll have some more questions, but thank you for your time tonight.
And just speaking on that, I'm sorry, and speaking on that one more time, just to the point that you just made, I've been in so many meetings with Ms. George, and she has thanked us for meeting so frequently with her about our students. As anybody that knows me knows, all these kids are my babies, every single one of them. So I take pride in the product that we're producing as TLC, but also the product that I'm producing being one of you.
And I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. Is the program right now is in Exton, or it's
Yes.
going to? It is
It's
in
in
Exton,
Exton,
and
yes.
they're all Coatesville.
Yes.
It's no other districts.
No.
And is there any thought of?
Not at
No.
the moment, no.
Thank you very much.
Did you?
I just wanted to note two additional things that Steve did not say. One, in terms of the days, there are monthly field trips and activities as well, that, because we believe in the beyond the walls education, and that those are all at no cost to families ever. And they've done everything from going to see plays to, like we said, the zip lining and all of that. But sometimes it's community service-oriented and all of that, and the students really enjoy learning outside of the building there in Exton. And also, just something Steve is probably too modest to say, his commitment to the community of Coatesville, it's not unlike him to call me and say, I'm leaving early because I have to stop by someone's home this evening. I wasn't able to reach this parent, or, I'm leaving a little early to drop some paperwork off. I need to connect with this family. And that's the level of commitment that we think is so critical to keeping the community engaged, keeping the families informed, and, supporting the district. So I just wanted to note that as well.
I don't really have anything to say about the program because I think it's great. But I just want to say, Braz, thank you for your commitment to Coatesville. You are on the field all the time. You've been a mentor before you even worked this job. Our kids love you. You are such an asset to this community and this district. And there's authentic engagement is how I would sum you up. And that is so important to our kids. And I don't know if you hear this enough, but I think this board appreciates you so much and what you're doing for these kids and wanting to create a different alternative education plan for them and do it authentically and with care for the community that you know so well. And you're a Coatesville kid and you get it, and I'm proud of you, brother. So thank you for continuing to sow into our kids. And I think this is an amazing program.
Thank you. Don't make me cry up here.
Yet, don't walk away yet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I probably should have just opened up to full board at the beginning, since that is only two more, but by all means, yeah. Liz. And Shauna, please jump in.
I just wanted to make two comments. So one is first, and I heard you say this, but just for the purpose of clarity, I'm going to ask it again. is the program that takes place in Exton accredited by the Middle States Association?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The second thing is I just want to make a point that if we go back several years, we definitely had experiences that we had heard from parents and students who were going to the Lincoln Center Academy in Audubon, that this program was not a good fit for them and not a good fit for our district. My understanding is that since opening the Exton location, and particularly with your presence there, Steve, there has been a much better alignment between that program and the needs of our students. And we are getting very different feedback from the students that are going now than we did from students who were attending years ago. I want to make that comment. You don't need to respond to that, but you certainly can.
I appreciate it. It's a testament to the team. I can't take credit for it. I just showed up one day and, we just kind of got things together. So it's been a beautiful ride. I'm grateful for the team I have over there, but I'm also grateful for the partnership I have with the community, with the district. I speak to them regularly. They see me probably more than they see their families at some point, but it's been beautiful to work together.
That's great. I guess one question that I would ask you is, with the students who are attending there, so I think we have, under 30 students there.
For sure.
Is the objective of the program to get those students to graduation in the program, or is the objective of the program to address current needs so that they can then reintegrate into Coatesville School District?
So short answer to that is yes.
I knew you were going to say that.
But we are working with our students. So some of our students come to us credit deficient, and we're able to offer 8 credits per school year, which is more than what the district offers. So for those students, it may be getting them to graduation while they're with us because of their deficiency. Other students that we do goal setting within the first month of a student coming to our placement, we do goal setting with the district. And in those meetings, we lay out what it would take for them to return to the district, and then periodically throughout the school year, each quarter, we have another meeting to check progress for those students. So we're constantly meeting about progress. And if the students are meeting all of their goals that we set as a team for them, then we encourage them to go back to the district. We don't benefit from keeping students there. We benefit from changing the student from inside out and helping them be successful moving forward.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
For the transition classroom proposal, can you just speak to, similar to what Bob's question was, just how does that work with the other program or not work with it? What's the day look like, high level?
Yeah, I think that program would be a separate program and likely in a separate location, to be determined, in terms of like partnering with the district to figure out where specifically. But I think the original thought was in or close to the district, because these are students who may be suspended for just a few days, to maybe a couple of weeks and going back versus, the longer stays that some of the other students then. So a typical day would be those students accessing their the curriculum that they were working on prior to their suspension, but also being supported with some restorative coaching so that, we're helping them to repair whatever harm was made, that got them there. If there are, conflicts that we can help address, we want to do that. But also if there's specific counseling that needs to happen as well on campus during the program. Again, it's more of a triage blitz, if you will, because the goal is definitely to return them back at the end of their suspension, just resilient and better equipped to, continue with their educations.
Thank you. So there's other opportunities for these students in those short-term suspensions. And I know this is hypothetical at this point, but if you had to sell this to me or to us, what makes this stand out as an option versus other options that are out there? That you see this as uniquely going to work well for us?
I think what makes it unique is having the opportunity for students to be surrounded by, academic support, the mental health support, or the coaching simultaneously while they're there. So even though it's a short period of time, they're receiving multi-tiered or layered supports within that time. Oftentimes, when students are suspended for, a week, 2, perhaps they are on an online program and not supervised by, staff and not supported academically or with their behavior or social emotional learning. In this instance, they would still come to a location, even though suspended, and still be able to engage and be supported.
Okay. And so the proposal here has 1 program director, 2 teachers, 1 mental health counselor. Is that whether we have 3 kids suspended or 13 kids suspended on a given?
Yeah, I think that the model was that for 10. I think it was, I don't have the proposal right, the numbers that we were proposing, but I think that was up to 15 students, that model that we proposed. And whenever we have a proposal, the hope is that we would work with the district, if accepted, to say what makes sense. What is the staffing model that makes sense? So we are just making a proposal here, and certainly would want to tailor it specifically to the needs of the district.
Thank you.
Can I ask
Any other?
a question? Yeah, for the transition classroom, I'm sorry if I missed this. Is that something that you provide already for other school districts? Would this be new for you, or what other districts have you done this in?
No, the transition classroom would be new in this way, the 10 days or less. We currently provide it for students suspended 45 days in our Audubon location, but something a little shorter than that. This would be our first attempt at that.
Okay, thank you.
And you wouldn't, and for that program, like if it's a numbers problem with your staffing, the student wouldn't necessarily have to be suspended, would they? I mean, if you needed, I'm sure there's kids that could benefit from it in some way that not necessarily suspended. Does that make sense?
Meaning students who could come for a short period of time and be supported. I don't know the particulars for how, particularly with students who have individual plans or things like that, prescribed, you may not be able to. So I'm not sure if that would be.
Just a thought.
Yeah, but I do know that our climate coaches who work in the schools provide very similar supports.
I see Ms. Snyder shaking her head.
I think that could be part, sorry.
Look at that.
Look at this fanciness.
Uh-huh.
I think that because this is so new.
I don't know if it's on.
It's not working? It says on.
It does.
I'll just come up here. Because this is a new program for all of us, I think the initial thought was for students who are excluded from school. But I do think, Mr. Connect, to your point, if a student had needs that they couldn't get at their building and it was a temporary need, we could take a look at that. I just think that originally we were thinking about students who, for whatever reason, couldn't, had broken their community at school. So it's certainly something to consider, but it is so new.
I was just thinking that, obviously they have to run their,
Sure.
they need funding, and they,
Correct.
it helps them not to necessarily be cheap in a sense. So I'm just thinking if we need to commit a certain amount of students, we don't have to necessarily, we have to suspend 15 people today, but
No.
there's other things that they could
Right.
benefit from. So
Right,
that's-
no, absolutely not. There's no quota in terms of discipline. Sorry, I was going the different way.
Excuse me, sorry guys. I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you. I believe that this is an amazing opportunity. You are building opportunities for my peers here at Coatesville. I think you guys are opening doors for so many kids who really need support. That's what they need, and that's what you guys are providing with your program here. I mean, for example, if there's kids who may have emotional regulation issues or who may be disrupted in class, and then they are sent home. Well, some kids, they just don't have support at home either, though. I mean, if you are worrying about paying bills or what you're going to eat next, that's going to be really hard for you to focus in school and focus in class. And then what happens if they act up or if they fall behind, they get punished even worse. And that just creates a sense of dread and hopefulness that they aren't able to do anything. So with you guys providing this service to our students, I just want to say thank you so much, because you have shown us truly how this has changed lives. You are providing people with ways for a better future and a better tomorrow. So I just want to say a quick thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments at this time? I was going to thank you as well, but I'm going to hold. Nothing else? All right, thanks so much again for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. I'll bundle where I can. Tell me where else to add. All right, agenda items. We will at least bundle A and B together. Ratification of Prismatic Magic Assembly at Rainbow and Kings Highway. Recommended action to the Board of Directors ratify Prismatic Magic Education Laser Assembly at both of these locations. Any questions or comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, moving on to C, hold for Octorara Area Career and Technical Education MOUs. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the MOU for Career and Technical Program and the MOU with Octorara and CASD Protective Services as presented. We are waiting on the approval of the suggestions made by Justin's office.
I feel like we don't have the MOU to look at.
That's,
So I can give a little background on this, and certainly I think the hope was to have it for today, but there's been just some back and forth between the solicitor's offices, between Octorara School District and our school district. But ultimately, this would be to allow our students to participate in some of the Homeland Security career and technical programming, which is actually housed within the borders of the Coatesville Area School District. It's just not a program that is facilitated by the school district. It's facilitated by Octorara. They place students in fire, law enforcement, and EMS career and technical programs, much like the CCIU's CTE programming. This is just facilitated by Octorara. They also have programs out at Octorara High School that we could potentially explore. The cost is the same as the CCIU programming. It's closer, and it opens pathways for our students that are not currently available through the CCIU. We just need to work out a few of the language details, so I do apologize that the MOU is not available, but we would like to allow our current high school students the opportunity to enroll in these programs, and registration is now, as most of the course selection is happening in the February and March timeframe.
Can I make a suggestion for a point of order?
Please.
I would recommend that we consider moving this to the full board agenda, but not making it eligible for the consent agenda, right?
Absolutely.
So that we
Yep.
can make sure that we do a full review of it before we pass it
At
with
the
the
end
full
of the
board.
end of the month. Yeah. I
'Cause
agree.
'cause you know how I am about
Yeah,
this stuff.
I am too. I was thinking about you when I was like, yeah, there's no MOU on here.
And
Yeah.
certainly if it's not available, we'll move it to March.
Absolutely, absolutely. I, without seeing the MOU, it's kind of hard. I just hear Donna in my head going, are we going to make sure that there's transportation for every kid for these things?
Yes, it's within the district, so it's actually closer and cheaper than sending them to the CCIU.
Okay, because we
So
have a
it's over
welding
in the-
program and we don't have right now, unless we've changed that, like transportation for that
Correct, and
program.
that's not at this location, which is the primary location for
Gotcha,
this. So
okay.
those are out at Octorara High School. This is at the public safety, and I'm going to butcher this, so I'm going to look to Nick, but thank you. The public
Gotcha.
safety near the South Coatesville Police Department on the opposite side of that space. They have a fantastic facility there, really great instructors, something that we think would just allow our
So-
students, many are placed right after and make sometimes six-figure salaries right out of high school.
Nice, so we will be able to get them to that location, whoever wants to do that.
Yes, much like we get them to the CCIU
Awesome.
CTE
Okay.
programming. So transportation, they would still be here for meals. It's just that half-day program,
Awesome.
much like going to Downingtown or other CCIU programs. But this is just an Octorara alternative option.
Thank you.
And again, apologize for the delay in the MOU.
We're all doing our best. Any other questions for this? Committee or non-committee members? Okay, so the suggestion is we move it to the full board agenda, knowing that we're going to pull it off of the consent agenda for further discussion and review of the MOU.
Yes.
All right. So committee members, all in favor of moving it to full board agenda, please say yes.
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 All right, looks like we have another hold. Item D, for Moose Lodge contract.
Want some help on that one, Steve?
I'm going to toss the baton to you.
So again, apologize, we've been working closely. So this is actually something the board has already approved for our junior achievement field trip that is scheduled for the beginning of March. They are set to go out to the Moose Lodge. We had negotiated, I believe, at least a 50% discount with the Moose Lodge. This is, I think, for our 8th grade students at both Scott and North Brandywine, going for 2 days each. All of them go. It's sort of a culminating activity. Junior Achievement had already donated, I believe, about a $40,000 investment in our district for the programming, and this is the large end of sort of year kickoff. They have multiple volunteers from across the community. We are just waiting for the Moose Lodge. In fact, I think we're going out on site to try and expedite that on Friday. But in the interim, it is something that you've approved the initial donation. This will be covered, this final little piece for the reservation of this space with title funding. So no impact to the district on that end.
Any questions or concerns from committee members or full board? All right, so all in favor of the committee moving this to full board agenda?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, moving down to E, CCIU Senior Chats Video Contract, recommended action. The Board of School Directors approved the CCIU contract for the Senior Chats video as presented. Looks like there was 4 quotes obtained for this initially. Any questions, comments from committee members? Any questions, comments from full board? Is there something you want to share?
Just a little background on what that is for folks who may not be aware. Dr. Abarczyk sits individually with all of our graduating seniors and sort of goes through almost like an exit survey like we would for staff. As they sort of take their next step, we do the same with our students, and we like to memorialize that and then share that out with our community. So this is an opportunity to make that a more memorable and exciting experience and then share those out. So that's what you see, and I believe the thought is that those will be starting later this month, and it usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes per student.
Yes, they were great last year. It was a really good, and as they were graduating, getting their feedback, especially from the charter school students who came over and their testimonies of, being at Coatesville.
Especially them.
Yeah, all of them are great, but it was wonderful to hear
was.
from, spent some time at a different school, came here and loved it, so.
And I think it also allows us information and time to reflect as we continue to guide our programming for future students
Great
from our
politically
graduating
correct
seniors.
response, yes.
Absolutely. All right, no questions? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. On to F, FCS culinary field trip. Do we have any other field trips here? No. Okay. Field trip out of country, recommended action. My computer's slow.
Just says
I'm not getting any information popping up.
topic.
Topic being studied is cuisine
all it
and
says.
culture.
Yeah, the rest is executive content. Maybe you're not logged in.
Oh, because it's
I
like a
am
field
logged in,
trip.
but I'm not getting, is there,
It's just a field trip, so we can't talk about it.
okay, but I normally have executive content. in this.
There is.
Not in mine.
Are you logged in?
Yeah.
I think it logged you out.
Oh, maybe it did.
No worries.
Ah, I did. Pop
We
me
see
out.
it.
All right. Any questions? Not really. Okay. It's logging me back in. Give me a sec. All in favor of committee members?
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Move it on to full board?
Yes.
I already said yes.
I'm waiting for my computer.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It popped me out. All right. On to G, conference request, bias sensitivity Content review for access and L's recommended action that the school board of directors approve the request for Caitlin Reinhardt, ESL teacher at Reeseville Elementary. Any questions, comments from committee members? Questions, comments from full board? All right, excited for the opportunity. Looks great. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. On to H, TLC Leadership Academy and School Climate Support Proposal. Recommended action, the Lincoln Center for Family and Youth Services to continue its partnership with CASD to provide academic and therapeutic alternative education and alternative education for disruptive youth AEDY services through its TLC Leadership Academy, as well as address the behavioral needs of students enrolled in Coatesville School District, intermediate and high school schools. I'm not going to read the rest. I think we all understand what's being put before us. Any questions? Committee members, comments? Full board? All right. All in favor of moving this on to full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I, early graduation request for student 10010738. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the early graduation request of student 10010738 as presented. Obviously, it's executive content. Any questions that would be permissible? All right. All in favor of moving this to full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Informational items, enrollment report as of January 31st, and TLC transition classroom services. Just on enrollment report, it looks like charter school enrollment report has down 115. Am I reading that correctly? All right. Coatesville Area School District enrollment report looks like it's +2 comparisons to last year. Any? I wasn't going to. Oh, no. Old business? New business? Anything? All right. Public comment? We have Ms. Lori Shannon Bailey.
Good evening. So I appreciated the presentation and the comments tonight. I guess my first question would be for the board. Have you collaborated with the community on this transition program and on the contract with the Lincoln Center Academy? So have you talked to parents? Do you have a feel for what the community wants or expects or is concerned about in terms of the Lincoln Center Academy? Because if you know me and my position, you know that there's some concerns, and I do speak on behalf of marginalized parents and students who have not yet found their voice or don't know the power of their voice. So if you haven't collaborated with the community, I would encourage you to do so. Because you all represent the community. When you ran for the school board, you said you would be representing our voices and things that concern us. So if you haven't done that, I would encourage you to do so. Madam President, I appreciated your comments about Mr. Brazel. He is a rock star. I have advocated for students who had him as a climate coach, and he is fascinating. I'm sorry that he is not in our district because we need people like him in our school district. We have the means and the resources to take care of our own students. And I believe if you talk to the community, I think the community might say that. I could be wrong, but I know the students that I've supported. In fact, I advocated for the first student whose parents said, no, heck no, her student is not going to be going to the Lincoln Center Academy. We got a lot of pushback from people who were sitting in the back of the room, but we were able to make sure the student got to where she wanted to go based on her parents. So community feedback and community collaboration is very, very important. I know you're doing that in some ways, but this is one particular way to where I believe the community would be very interested in their voices being heard. Also, I just want to comment on this $270 a day. How did you come up with that figure, and what does it include? And how can you even think about approving something if you don't have like a total balance? Like, what number are we looking at? $270 a day. I did hear some information about short-term suspensions. Well, what does that mean? Is it 10 days? Is it 45 days? I'm thankful that you're not suspending students for 100 days or 180 days like you used to, but what exactly is a short-term suspension? We believe, again, the school district has the resources to take care of our students in this community. Thank you.
Thank you as well. All right. Next meeting is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, and it is now 7:32, and I'll adjourn the Education Committee meeting.
Good evening. Calling to order the Operations Committee meeting for February 10th, 2026 at 7:33 p.m. Tonight, I note the presence of myself, Chairperson Beth Brindle, our Vice Chair, Director Liz Muirhead, and Committee Member Shauna Maxwell. Committee Member Holly Charest is excused tonight. And the next is the approval of the minutes from our January 13th, 2026 Operations Committee meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the minutes? No? All right. Seeing none, please, all in favor of approving the minutes, please say yes.
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 Yes. We have no presentations tonight for this committee, so moving on to agenda items. Agenda item A, Environmental Management Technologies. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Environmental Management Technologies for the disposal of 4 ounces of uranyl acetate at the senior high school for a total cost of $3,685 as presented. And in speaking with the staff for the committee, this is disposing. It's a product that was used in our chemistry labs, so that is the cost to dispose of 4 ounces of it. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? From the full board? If not, all in favor of moving this forward, please say yes.
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 Agenda item B, that the Board of School Directors approve the change order credit from JBM Mechanical to provide roof curb substitution for a total credit to the district of $30,640 as presented. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? From the board? All right, hearing none. All in favor of moving this forward, please say yes.
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 Yes. Agenda item C, Lobar Inc. And can I bundle that with agenda item D, Lobar Inc. for Reeseville Elementary and North Brandywine Middle School. These are change orders that the Board of School Directors approve the change order from Lobar for roof insulation for a total of $18,000 for North for Reeseville, and a reconciliation for a total allowance of $29,100 for North Brandywine. Would you like to speak on those, or?
I just want to clarify, the $18,000 was reimbursed to us by our architects as a miss on their specs. So we called them out on it, and they made good on it.
Thank you for that clarification. Any questions from committee members on those items? Or from the full board? C and D. And C was a cost to us, but the architect reimbursed us. And then D was, I believe, in our favor, right? The reconciliation.
Correct.
So no money out the door for those. All right, with no questions or comments, all in favor of moving this forward to the full board, please say yes.
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 Yes. Letter E, BSS Contractors, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the change order from BSS Contractors LLC for Scott Middle School for design development for a total cost of $54,260.07 as presented. Would you like to give us any more
Yeah,
information?
this is a result of multiple change orders. There was a number of things that were missed, removal of floors, leveling, additional cabinetry, but also included in this was also a credit of a little over $70,000 for changes we had made to the front wall and the removal of the walls.
Thank you. Do any committee members have questions? Any members of the full board? Seeing none, all in favor of moving this forward to the full board, please say yes.
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 Yes. Item F, Borough Construction, Doe Run Elementary Change Order. That the Board of School Directors approve the change order from Borough Construction for the water main extension at Doe Run Elementary for a total cost of $1,612,269.53 as presented. And I know that's a big number when we spoke about this. I know it's something that's still within it's within the budgeted amount. It's an expense that we
It
expected.
is within the budget amount, but sadly, it's going to be a little more at the next meeting. We tried to include this in our OSIP, which was our insurance, and they sent the change order. We were denied, and the insurance is going to add about $154,000, which I'll have that at the end of the month.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Or from the full board? Hearing no questions, please say yes if you support recommending this to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And let's see, item G, Pennsylvania American Water Company, that the Board of School Directors, pending solicitor's review, approve the agreement between Pennsylvania American Water Company and the Coatesville Area School District for the water facilities line extension for Doe Run Elementary School as presented. Are there any questions from committee members? Any questions from the full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you approve moving this forward to the full board agenda.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Item H, Roofing Resources, and I'll bundle H and I, Roofing Resources Incorporated for the intermediate high school and the senior high school roof replacement and designs. That the Board of School Directors approve the proposal for the 2026 roof replacement and design for the intermediate school is $472,135, and for the senior high, $739,801 as presented. Are there any questions from committee members? And I think if I recall, this is the final payment for the high school, like
Yes, this is a multi-year program. This will be the last roofs on the high school. So the whole high school is complete and under warranty.
All right, thank you. If there are no further questions, Please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Letter J, Public School Facility Improvement Grant Resolution. And this is recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the resolution authorizing the district to apply for a public school facility improvement grant in the amount of $1,211,350 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to fund the heating and cooling plant replacement project at Kings Highway Elementary School, and further authorize all actions necessary to obtain said grant as presented. Please note, this grant is not guaranteed. Approval of the resolution would authorize the district to pursue the grant. If awarded, the district would be responsible for a 25% match totaling $302,839. Are there any questions from committee members?
I'm just glad to see us evaluating grant opportunities for the projects that we have planned and trying to use them to offset some of the impact on our costs.
Hopefully, this is the first of many.
Yeah, I would echo that and appreciate that. Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Letter K, MIH Systems, that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from MIH Systems Group LLC for the additional repairs found during major rework of HVAC units at Reeseville Elementary for a total cost of $5,695 as presented. Any committee questions or concerns? Any questions from the full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter L, Quality Door Service, Administration Building Side Entrance Double Door. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Quality Door Service for the side entrance double door replacement at the Administration Building for a total cost of $11,947.40 as presented. Are there any questions from the committee? From the full board? And I'll just mention, I think that it's one that you said the electronics are in the middle, it's not working at all
Correct.
now,
This is the set of double doors down in the basement here, and through the years, bringing in pallets, there's a middle mullion that has the electronics in it, just not set up to properly bring in material. So we're changing that. We're going to have the electronics in the door frame and not in the middle. Just a better setup, and the ones down there right now are not in the best of shape.
Thank you. There are no other questions. Please say yes if you support recommending that item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Where are we? Letter M, Modern Fold Styles Rainbow Elementary Partition Repair, that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Modern Fold Styles for the auditorium cafeteria partition repair at Rainbow Elementary for a total cost of $4,200 as presented. Are there any questions from the committee members? Any other board members? Hearing none, please say yes if you support moving this forward to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. And letter N, Storks Plows District Plow Equipment, that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Storks Plows for snow plow equipment for Coatesville Area School District for a total cost of $6,700 as presented. My understanding is this is for a plow that can be installed on the front of an existing district vehicle.
Correct. It's going to be installed on one of our newer Ford pickup trucks, and the reason behind it is we're going to start doing a little bit more with our own in-house folks.
Very good, thank you. Any questions from committee members? From the full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see. I don't know if I can bundle here letters O and P, Raptor Technologies Subscription Service Agreement and Apple iPads for Raptor and Verkada Access Control. The Board of School Directors approved the proposal from Raptor Technologies for the purchase of visitor management equipment, site licenses, and emergency management fees, including installation and project management fees. This is for the Raptor system when visitors come to the schools. If you'd like to talk
Sure,
about that.
absolutely. So we currently use Navigate 360 as a platform for our visitor management and our emergency management suite for admin, teachers, staff, visitors, et cetera, throughout the district. We would like to move to Raptor Technologies. They'll be able to meet our needs a little bit more. Our neighboring districts have also had some issues with Navigate 360 as we have had in the past. So we'd like to move to this new system. Slightly more expensive is going to give us a little bit more, I don't like to say, but bang for our buck. We're going to get a little bit more resources out of that. That will come with the printers, all the items necessary. The iPads with that will be self-service kiosks to get folks in the door quicker when they come to visit a building, meet with somebody. So all of those items, we have bundled together, are for that process and that project going forward.
Thank you. And then I think you may have just said this, but then the iPads for agenda item P, those would be for the kiosks for the entry into that.
Correct. And we also, it is together in the same quote, we have a new access control system coming into our high school campus, which has been a 2-year project. We're very excited to see that finished, most of which was paid for by grant funding. The iPads are going to be the new piece to allow folks to come in, kind of like a two-way communication as folks buzz in as they do in the buildings now. But it will also then be able to be released from anybody. So if someone's not at that desk or if it's after hours, we can still have a track of who can come into the building or not.
Thank you. Any committee questions on agenda items O or P? The full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Letter Q, Harris Technology Senior High School Intercom. And was that part of what you just discussed as well?
Yes, so it is part of, it was a piece that was not included in the initial project 2 years ago. They advised that there was a need to have the intercom system outside of the main office. So if you've walked through the main office of the high school, you come out into the hallway, there's those 2 doors you come out to. There is currently an intercom in there, which will become obsolete with the new system. They put that in between when the project was kind of on pause and now. So it's part of an old system. This intercom will be able to be used outside of that area and allow students to come in as they do currently now. So the same procedures, nothing will really change, but is something we need to add to make sure we maintain that functionality.
Thank you. Okay, so this item is for the purchase of 1 Verkada video intercom and 1 Verkada 5-year intercom license, including installation and project management fees for use at the high school for a total cost of $3,853.60. Any questions from committee members? The full board? Seeing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Letter R, more Verkada cameras, network connections. This is at Doe Run Elementary School for the purchase of 125 Verkada cameras, including installation and project management for use at Doe Run Elementary School building for a total cost of $601,497.70 as presented. So bigger ticket, but obviously startup for the new building.
Yep, and it is currently included in the construction budget and cost for that.
Okay. Any questions from committee members?
No.
From the full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter S, Harris Technology Access Control Licenses, that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Harris Technology for the purchase of 6 Verkada 5-year desk station licenses, including installation fees for use at the Coatesville area senior high school and intermediate high school for the new Verkada access control systems for a total cost of $7,045.80 as presented. Are there any questions from the committee?
No.
From the full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Letter T, Apple MacBook Air. Thank you. Apple MacBook Air, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Apple for the purchase of 5 13-inch MacBook Air computers, including AppleCare, for use in supporting all Apple devices in the district for a total cost of $5,590 as presented. And my understanding, I think, Mr. Oliver, this would be for the IT department to assist in troubleshooting, right?
Yeah, this is, this is for use to support the iPads for just-in-time helping students. We had some troubles with a classroom of students, some were connecting and not to testing. We were fortunate enough to get an Apple engineer that came out. He recommended having Apple devices because what we do is currently control them from the district here. So we have to be back here with students who are in the classroom where we can sit with these in the classroom and watch the students, watch what happens, and make adjustments just in time to keep them functioning. So they're minimal, they're not high-end, they're just for supporting the iPads and troubleshooting.
Thank you for that explanation. Are there any questions from committee members or from the full board? Seeing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Letter U, Ahead Inc. YubiKeys for two-factor authentication. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Ahead Inc. for the purchase of 100 YubiKeys for use in supporting two-factor authentication in the district for a total cost of $19,600 as presented. And this was, am I remembering, for faculty and staff that do not have phones to?
Either don't have phones or they have phones that are not a smartphone, so it doesn't have the Microsoft app. People still actually just use a 9-button phone or flip phone. So these are to support people, or if they don't have service in that area.
Okay, and this is ultimately for security for our systems?
It is
so that-
security, and it's minimal. You figure we have 500 to 700 staff members. We're only working at 100 at this point to fill in areas where we have trouble.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members or the full board? All right, seeing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Letter V, Think EDU LLC, that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Think EDU LLC for the renewal of Adobe Creative Cloud for use in the district for a total cost of $2,440 as presented. Note that there is no price increase over last year's fees. Are there any questions from committee members or from other board members? Seeing none, please say yes if you approve moving this forward to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. Letter W, we are getting there. CDWG, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from CDWG for monitors and stands for use in the district for a total cost of $17,550 as presented, and these funds are from the current technology budget. Any questions from committee members or from other board members? Please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
Letter X, GovConnection Inc. Network Scanner, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from GovConnection Inc. for a network scanner and support for use in the district for a total cost of $17,978 as presented. Here again, these funds are within the current technology budget. Are there questions from committee members? From the full board? Hearing none, please say yes if you support recommending this item to the full board.
Yes.
Yes.
I think you can bundle the rest of them, to be honest,
All
because
right.
it's all related to Doe Run.
I'm good with that. So that would be letters Y, Z, double A, double B, and double C. And these are, as Director Muirhead said, all related to network and equipment for the new Doe Run Elementary School. So it's Riverside Technologies network equipment for Doe Run, Crown Castle fiber network to Doe Run, smart boards for Doe Run, smart boards relocation, so the cost of just relocating existing equipment from Cowan Elementary to Doe Run, and the same from East Fallowfield to Doe Run. So that would just be the cost of removal, transport, and installation for those last two items. Do I have any questions from committee members on those items? Or from other board members? Seeing none, please say yes if you support recommending those items to the full board.
Yes.
Yes. All right, we have no informational items tonight. No old business. Is there any new business? It looks like we do have public comments. Thank you. Ms. Lori Shannon Bailey.
Good evening. For the grant, I do appreciate the fact that you all are looking at grants, but I'm just wondering, is it possible to find a grant where we don't have to match funds? Just seems like it defeats the purpose of a grant, but maybe it doesn't.
Mr. Brazil has left, but I can speak to that a little bit just from like work I do in my day job in a legislative office. I mean, it is pretty standard for grants to require matching funds. I'm trying to get back up to the item number here too. What's that?
Are you still in my time?
No. Oh, okay. Sorry, go ahead. Wasn't
No, it's
thinking.
all right. I appreciate the attempts to
No,
answer my
Go
questions.
ahead. I wasn't thinking, yep.
No, it's okay. I just don't want my 3 minutes to be taken up. It's, but thank you.
Ms. Shannon Bailey, we will maintain all of your time this evening.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're quite welcome.
Appreciate that. So the next question would be about the cameras, which there's a reoccurring fee or reoccurring charges. Is that like every year? For how many years? And I heard something earlier about security cameras. So are those security cameras? That would be my next question. So just so we're aware of what we're looking at moving forward in terms of taxpayer dollars. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will get you answers to those. All right, our next meeting will be on Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. And with that, this committee meeting is adjourned at 7:58 p.m. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, welcome to the Policy Committee meeting for February 10th, 2023. This evening, I note the presence of the following committee members: myself, Lear Nyako, filling in for Holly Shress, who's excused, Beth Brindle, and Steve Wilson will be sitting in for Donna Rowland. And we don't have any employee representatives. Approval of the minutes for January 13th, 2026 for the Policy Committee. Does anybody have any questions or concerns with those? If not, please say yes that they're approved, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, great. No presentations, thank goodness. And on to agenda. The first agenda item is Board Policy 113, Special Education, first read. I'm going to ask Mr. Barbetta to kind of go over what has changed here.
And it's actually, it's really a revision related to one subsection, which is the recording of meetings. So that has been revised, not that it was eliminated for the opportunity to record meetings in special education contexts, but just clarifying the parameters around it. And this is based on several incidents that have occurred this school year, and just wanting to reiterate the circumstances under which a family member, parent, guardian, or representative was able to record a meeting, and then to also make it abundantly clear that if there's a request that the recording be discontinued, that if an individual continues to record, we are now treading the line of illegality, just to remind everybody of that. So it's just further qualifying and putting parameters around when the ability to record these types of meetings are going to be available.
Makes sense. Does anybody from the committee have any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody from the board? All right, if we want to move this on to the full board, please say yes.
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 Awesome. It's 113.3.
So this is an extremely minor update. It literally relates to the request for an IEE. And it is, I want to say like 2/3 of the way down. So it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a minimal semantic addition.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good to me. Does anybody from the board, the committee have any questions or concerns about that? The board? If you want to move that on, please say yes.
Yes.
Who else is yes? Who else is on that? Beth?
Oh, yes,
Yes,
sorry.
okay.
I was reading it.
C, policy 204, attendance, first reading.
And I also forgot to mention that
Oh, yeah.
each time we're going through one of these, just based on
Yeah.
the directive from the board in the past, we are reformatting them as we go. So,
Yes.
So 204 had an extensive amount of reformatting. The major additions in green really relate to, I believe,
Truancy.
the update to the school code with a student not being able to transfer out once they start the truancy process into a cyber charter school unless there's a judicial determination. And then also we added that a habitually truant student may not transfer into our own cyber academy here in Coatesville if that process is started. I can also tell you that we've worked with student services and have made similar updates to the truancy notices to account for the change in school code.
Awesome, thank you. Does anybody from the committee have any questions on that? Concerns? All right, from the full board? All right, if you want to move that on, please say yes.
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 All right, I think we're coming back to policy 903, public comment.
I have a suggestion for this one.
Please.
So when we last left off in January, the discussion was, we kind of ended on discussion surrounding what to do with potentially multiple periods of public comment, allowing for public comment at the last committee meeting of the evening. And I think the goal is to allow an individual who wants to address the board to be able to do that without pushing them off to a business meeting at the end of the month. If it would be okay with the committee, my suggestion would be to obviously address the issue where we have meetings to include our committee and business meetings, and then separate out a separate committee meeting subsection to essentially leave it the way that it is now, where you would maintain your single period of public comment for each committee meeting, but to allow for public comment at that committee meeting for agenda items or items that may come before the committee at a certain point in time, as long as it's related to that committee's topic. So for the example that I think really kind of initiated this, where a parent wanted to address an issue related to their student, then that would come under, and we have a committee meeting that would fall under, and it would just come under education. All right, so we could lenient in allowing somebody to make their comment and address the board. The reason I'm suggesting that is primarily given that you do run 4 committee meetings in a single evening. The districts that we work with that do have 2 periods of public comment, that is often because they have broken out committee meetings where there's 2 in one night, or sometimes a standalone committee meeting, and it almost runs itself like a full business meeting just with particular committee issues. So that's my suggestion. I know we've kind of left it open-ended. If there's other wishes of the board, I'm happy to do that too, but I was just trying to be proactive in making a suggestion to help advance this.
No, I appreciate that. I like that idea. I do want there to be, I think you and I were talking the most at the last committee meeting about, we want it to follow what the policy says. So, Liz, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like the flexibility to allow that accommodation. I think it's important that if we're not going to have 2 periods of public comment at committee meetings, that we separately define full board meetings and committee meetings in the policy, and then further include that opportunity for leniency. But I think that's a good remedy that doesn't add substantial time to an already very long evening, nor does it require members of the public to stay through all 4 committee meetings before they have an opportunity to be heard. Thank you.
I agree.
I like that.
You like that too? Okay. So it's still,
We could still move it on to first read at the end of the
Perfect.
month because we can make these changes in the next
Awesome.
week or so.
okay, so does anybody else from the board have anything to add to that or have any questions about that?
Just makes sense too, because it allows accommodation if we do move to committee meetings on different nights. This
Yeah.
doesn't need to be changed.
Agreed. Yeah, I think this is a
Just
happy
makes
medium
sense.
here. Allows it all. Okay, all right, yeah, so we'd like to send this first read and then you'll
We'll make
do-
those adjustments.
Awesome. Say yes, please.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Next one is Board Policy 916, volunteers.
So there actually weren't any revisions to this. We listed it just so we could update the AR. So there actually weren't any substantive updates to the policy itself.
I know that know that we've been a little backdated on those ARs. Like the forms, each school has their own little forms. So are we trying to make sure that we're consistent there?
Yes, I think Ms. Snyder could probably address it in a little bit more detail than I can. 'Cause
That would be great, because it seems it's been messy in the past. I tried to volunteer, and then each school has their own, and they don't know which form they're pulling from. I think that's what you're trying to clean up.
Yes, that is exactly what we're trying to clean up, and there were different terms in different forms and different letters. So what I did was I pulled the letters, and you'll see that as an attachment in the informational item. All of the documents that we will use are standardized now, so just as you indicated. Mhm.
All right, great.
Yep. Quick question, is Ms. Matter involved in the training portions or giving input into the training portions for volunteer at this stage?
I don't know how to, if she would be involved, but she can be, absolutely.
I'm just curious if she
Absolutely.
is involved in that process for onboarding.
Yeah, for volunteers, yes.
Yeah,
Mhm, yeah. But she isn't yet, but she could be.
So I'll speak to being a volunteer in this district for years. Like, we have not had a real good process for it.
For onboarding.
There is no onboarding. There was no onboarding. I mean, am I wrong?
No,
Okay.
you're not wrong, and I think it was also.
There's no onboarding.
No, and I also think that one of the reasons why we wanted to change this and clarify some of the guidelines was because there was such a disconnect in what was happening.
Yeah.
So that's what this will be. I have no problem including Dawn in that, but she's unaware, but she is not involved right now.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking for volunteer onboarding? What does that look like? I'm just curious.
I mean, it depends on what their role is, of course, and that's in the weeds. I mean, I'm not going to speak into that, but I think anyone that's volunteering in our capacity within our district, I think there should be certain high-level trainings or just informational sessions that they're brought through.
Yeah.
As far as how
That
they're
sounds
working
great.
within our district.
So I
And certainly
can
some of
speak
that
to,
should be-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I beat the same drum, but certain of that should be culturally responsive, culturally sensitive content material related to bringing people into our district who don't know our student body, who don't know our demographic well, and come from very different life experiences, ensuring they have some level of, just cultural proficiency, for
Sure.
lack of other
The-
terms.
And the onboarding for volunteer coaches is probably what I'm most familiar with, and working at the high school level really is just done by the athletic and activities director along with the building principals to really set what are the PIAA regulations. So I will say that while maybe not an official process, there are coaches meetings that are required. So I'll turn this over to Dawn, who can speak very well on her behalf.
It's all right, you got it, yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to chime in a bit. So Steve, you're like in my head for next year, and I understand what you're saying, and I know that I am slated to present to you all in the executive session next month, as Dr. Rabarchek has told me. So there are some things that needs to be more linear. I do agree. Under climate and belonging in certain committees. So that's one of them, which is volunteer. Because I do agree with you that, while we do have to have for our volunteers in our schools, certain things that in Michelle's area regarding clearances, so on and so forth. But I get what you're saying as far as, just opening that up and looking in a creative way within the parameters of the other stuff, as far as opening it up and what that looks like. So I am working on a linear plan for that, among other things, but you guys will get more information in my executive session presentation. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank
That
you.
would also be like an AR. That's more of like the process, right? Like that type of things. That's not more, it's not policy, that's.
It depends.
Oh, okay.
It depends what you're talking about.
What he's talking about.
Well, what is he, I don't know, I mean, I think we should probably talk about that offline.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, we already pulled that through, right? Did we vote for that?
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about that policy? 916. The full board? All right. If you want to move that to first read, please say yes.
Yes.
I mean, to the business.
Full board.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, and yes. Awesome. All right, I'm going to bundle policy 239, policy 702.1 crowdfunding, and then policy 918, parent-family engagement Title I, because it's a second read. Does the committee have any questions or concerns? No? It's full board? All right, if you want to pass these on to the full board meeting at the end, please say yes.
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 Awesome. There are all these ARs under informational. Any old business? Any new business? We have public comment. And I'm just going to guess it's Miss Lori Shannon Bailey. Awesome. Oops.
Good evening. I just want to comment on the public, actually I have two comments. For public comment, I'm just really asking you all to please be mindful of the importance of public engagement. I understand I'm here a lot, but I've been at these meetings. I'm not going anywhere, not that I know of. And I know some of you, Beth, I know you campaign or you mentioned the importance of transparency and engagement maybe. But I get the sense that with the changes that you all have made in comparison to prior boards, there should be a more open, engaging opportunity for people to speak. I get it that you all disagree with me. I get it that you probably don't like that I'm here speaking up. But I've told you about my commitment to this district way before you all were on the board, or I told this board. But the changes that you all have made, like, for example, having full board meetings and, just all the changes that you all have had that speak to public comment, they did not exist when I started coming to these board meetings in 2021 on a consistent basis after COVID. Prior board presidents engaged me even though they knew I was going to complain or disagree. And as leaders, you should be strong enough to deal with people who disagree with you or who ask you tough questions. So I would ask you, I appreciate the comments from the attorney. I think it makes sense. But until I see it in writing and until I see it in action, I just don't know. But I just know that how I feel, people comment all the time. They see your negative comments. And I'm not complaining right now, but you're in front of the camera. And they see your body language when I speak versus other people. So again, I'm representing people who have not yet found their voice. And I would appreciate your maintaining public comment as it was prior to each of you being on the board. Thank you.
You. Next meeting is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. And if there's nothing else, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:16. Okay. Boom. 1 second. Students, if you guys want to leave, you may. It's way past. And then we'll do our special, it's past my bedtime, for sure. I am. Thank you, guys. Oh, this is first public comment? Oh. All right. Okay. I call to order the Coatesville Area School District School District Special Board Meeting scheduled for February 10th, 2026. The mission of the Coatesville Area School District, rich in diversity and committed to excellence, is to create innovative educational experiences which are funded by the taxpayers, supported by the community, delivered by dedicated teachers and administrators to ensure all students will become responsible, contributing global citizens. Madam Secretary, please call for the roll.
Maren Yako.
Here.
Steve Wilson.
Here.
Beth Brindle.
Here.
Holly Charest.
Excused.
Bob Connect.
Here.
Shauna Maxwell.
Here.
Liz Muirhead.
Here.
Donna Rowland.
Excused.
Robin Seagreaves.
Excused as well.
Thank you.
At this time, I ask everyone to please stand for a moment of silence and a salute to the flag. To my colleagues, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to this evening's agenda? All right, we'll move on to public comment. The board has requested that anyone wishing to speak on agenda items, please list their name, address, phone number, and agenda item provided on the sheet. There is a 3-minute time per person. The board does not take action or discuss items not appearing on the agenda. The board values public comment and wishes to convey that although board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, they listen carefully and appreciate and value input from the public. Ms. Lori Shannon Bailey.
Good evening. I have a question about the general fund cash balance. For the total cash on hand, $190 million, it's a big number. Is that effective now, or is that as of December 31st, 2025? I'm thinking it's effective December 31st, 2025, but can we know if it's not, can you tell us what is the total cash on hand? That's that question. And then for the legal fees, if we look at pages 4 through, I think, 13, page 10, it says student issues, and I've asked for that to be clarified because student issues mean a lot. I'm still asking for clarity on that.
Legal issues aren't on this, that was on the, oh, you're talking about.
The
she's
legal
talking about-
fees.
I think she's looking at items from the Finance Committee agenda that we went through earlier, but those are not on the full board agenda. Just as a matter of expediency, I would recommend we let her conclude her comments as if they were happening at the end of the board meeting.
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so
I'm taking notes on your comments.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that. And I did see your email come in. Thank you, Dr. Liz.
You're welcome.
So I'm just looking at these student issues, and this is another way where the board can save money. I mean, I know there's a lot that's involved in student issues, but what would it look like if we didn't have this money dedicated to student issues? That would be a lot of money. It would be a significant cost savings to our district. So I know that there's issues with special education challenges, violations, however you want to call it, discipline issues. And I'm thankful, I do support parents who do pursue litigation or whatever they need to do to get their children's rights represented and their educational rights represented. But I would ask you, as you make decisions and you ask questions, that you find out and do a deep dive into where is this money going and why is it that it's all these pages. It just seems to be a lot. And for the HR report, I see that we have a new assistant principal. I'm hoping that that is a minority. I'm asking for some sort of update on your decision to hire students that look like the majority of our students in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Executive session update.
Thank you, Madam President. The board met in executive session on February 9th, 2026 to discuss the following items: confidential personnel matters, items related to collective bargaining, and the following litigation matters. The matter docketed before the Chester County Court of Common Pleas at 2024-06456-TT. A matter docketed before the Chester County Court of Common Pleas at 2025-09248-IR. Another matter docketed before the Chester County Court of Common Pleas at 2025-00413-TT. And the matter docketed before the Federal District Court of the Eastern District of Pennsylvania at 2024-CV-4180. As well as multiple items protected by the attorney-client privilege for which the solicitor was present to provide legal advice. And that concludes this evening's executive session announcement.
Thank you. Motion items. Committee meeting action items considered routine will be enacted under one motion unless removed for separate action upon board request. The purpose of the consolidated motion is, I can't even read it because it's, sorry guys. Where is it? On here. Thank you. Motion to expedite governing board action on all consent items which are not held for discussion. Items that have been held for discussion by the governing board will be enacted upon at the time the item is discussed. And I think we're pulling from finance HR, correct? And did you want to pull the grant? No, you don't? Okay, then we're not. Does anybody want to pull anything else this evening? Okay. All right. All right, so consent agenda vote. With that item being removed, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions, comments, or discussion? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Beth Brindle?
Yes.
Liz Muirhead?
Yes.
Bob Connect?
Yes.
Shauna Maxwell?
Yes.
Steve Wilson?
Yes.
Leon Yacco?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, we now have the Finance Committee Human Resources Report. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the resignations, appointments, new positions, leaves of absence, transfers, changes of status, and corrections as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. I do want to point out that one of the reasons that we are approving this tonight is so that we can approve our new assistant principal for the Scott building with the hope that she can start as soon as possible. And so we are very excited about that and look forward to all of you, getting to see her soon.
I just want to comment a little bit on our new assistant principal, who was so pleased, I believe, scheduled to start at the end of the month or later this month. We are very excited to welcome Dr. Rulak to Scott Middle School, and she will be adding diversity to our district, which we're very excited for.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Call for the vote.
Shauna Maxwell?
Yes.
Leon Yacco?
Yes.
Steve Wilson?
Yes.
Bob Connect?
Yes.
Beth Brindle?
Yes.
Liz Muirhead?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay. That concludes Finance Committee items.
Thank you. All right, I think that public, do we have public comment? No. All right. Informational items to my colleagues. Are there any informational items this evening?
I did want to just add a comment as an informational item, and I know that this is something that has been raised in the past and it's caused some consternation. I know I have a different perspective on this than some other folks, but I spent 2 decades coming to these meetings and standing at that podium and making public comment, and so I do understand what it's like to stand at that podium and feel either heard or not heard. I try to be very focused on hearing people. One of the changes that this board made was a change that was made to actually give more time for the public to review committee discussions before items are approved by the full board. I know that because it is a bit of a procedural change, it may look like there's less transparency, because what the prior board was doing is they would hold all of the committee meetings, and then at the very end of the night, they would hold a special board meeting like this, and they would then approve everything that they had just done that entire evening. My perspective is that I think it's very important to have transparency and to have a review period, and for people who could not be present at this meeting to have the opportunity to watch it, to think about what they heard, to send emails, to ask questions, and give us as a board time to send those questions to administration, to research them, and in cases where it's appropriate, to respond to the emails that we receive. The approach that we're taking now, where in most cases for most items that are not requiring an urgent approval like this hiring tonight, where we wait until the meeting at the end of the month, one of the casualties of that is the one that we talked about remedying earlier in the policy discussion, which is that we don't typically have a full board meeting, a full board session that people can have public comment on committee night. But the idea behind our structure change was not to silence public comment on committee night. We still welcome that, and we will address the policy change. but it was to allow more time for the public to consume the content reviewed at committee and to have time to provide input before we bring it for a full board vote. So I know that that change has been interpreted different ways by members of the community, but that was the intent. And as somebody who came and publicly spoke at many of these meetings over 2 decades, I see it as a positive one. And I am encouraged that we are going to amend our public comment policy so that we can address some of the perceived gaps in hearing the public on an evening like tonight. You're welcome.
Anyone else this evening? All right. May I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
This meeting is adjourned.